Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode 56 of Ball Blub. I'm Jason Stalakis. I'm here with Jack, and we have a very, very, very special guest, Sammy. Sammy, you want to introduce yourself to the viewers and tell them what you do?
Yeah, what's up, guys? So thank you for the lovely intro. I appreciate it. My name's Sammy. I'm on the Play Tessie podcast, the Odyssey network, and the WEI network. Follow us at Play Tessie on Instagram and Twitter, and also follow Ball Blab. Yeah, that's all the intro I need.
And go follow Sammy too. We'll link it down in the description of the episode too. We gotta plug you in. No, it's wrong if we don't.
94, I think, is my name. HEB Hammer 94. That's it.
Yep, you heard it. Go follow him, and let's dive into it. So it's been a month since we did our last episode, January 8th. Nothing's happened. Are we serious right now? I was hoping doing an episode 2 weeks after it, 3 weeks, and it kept dragging on. And finally, pitchers and catchers report today to spring training. It's great. For some people, but there's still marquee free agents. You have the big four, Boris Four, and then you have some other small guys. Sammy, let me ask you this. Do you think the Red Sox are going to add some sort of piece that will contribute to the major league team just in general? Like, it doesn't have to be a minor league signing. Like, do you think they'll sign a big league piece by opening day?
I mean, they have to, right? It would make no sense not to. But then again, nothing has really made sense to this point. I believe it's been from today, Tuesday, February 13th is when we're recording. 45 days, if my math is correct, since they've made a major league move. That said, I still think there's something coming. I think it might be a little bit underwhelming to fans. I do think that Kenley's not going to get traded anymore. So I like that. I know people want, whatever you can get for him. But yeah, man, they got to. You had like a 3-man rotation for the last 2 months of the season in 2023. You got Giolito, you lost Sale, you lost Paxton. So you're kind of, slightly better in terms of keeping the rotation afloat in terms of innings, but they're not scaring anybody. They play Seattle in the opening series. Bayo would probably be the 4th or 5th guy in that rotation. And then he might be the only guy in the Red Sox roster that would make that rotation. So yeah, I can't fathom them not adding at least a little bit more to this rotation in particular.
I want to compliment your Boston accent. That was beautiful.
Do I sound like a
No, I'm kidding. Jack, any thoughts there?
Yeah, nothing's made sense to date, but you have to think that they have plenty of money to spend before they hit a threshold, and might as well use it somewhere, even if it's just adding, a mid-level pitcher like Lorenzen or something like that. However, do I see it happening? I'm not sure. I'm not convinced. And yeah, maybe they'll do I thought of Brandon Woodruff the other day. I thought that might make sense considering they did Michael Fulmer. And I thought, it gives them a chance to get a decent year out of him next year. But nothing comes to mind in terms of something that's going to make an impact for 2024. Montgomery, Snell, it's not happening. I don't even think that they're going to get somebody like Lorenzen, who would be 1 year, 10 million or whatever it is. And I don't see them adding another bat. So my answer, honestly, is no, I don't think you're going to see an impactful signing until opening day.
It's tough because every direction from the Chris Sale trade is they're going to add. They're going to add something, and nothing's happened. I still think I'm with Sammy. He said, they'll probably add someone, but it might be very underwhelming. Soler just won. You're probably looking at a Michael A. Taylor type of deal. And then I saw a report from the Mass Live beat that they're looking in the outfield market right now. So Michael A. Taylor or Pham probably would be guys to look out for. Maybe, I don't think anybody else.
Maybe Duvall.
Duvall. Thank you. Duvall. Yeah. I could see that. They still need a number 3 hitter. They don't have it. And then, Duran. That's the thing. It's going to be contingent on, is Duran going to get traded? If he is,
It's going to stay now. After hearing that Yoshida is the primary DH, I think they're going to move, and this is just a prediction, but I think they'll move Duran to left because the defense, though it improved in center, it still was not, he wasn't blowing anyone away. Less for him to think about if he's in left field. And I think that makes a lot of sense. I think, was it you, Jason, who said Michael A. Taylor?
Yeah.
Because Rafaela, if he is in AAA until I believe May 16th, they get an extra year of control. So I could see them, and we just discussed this on Play Tessie today. I could see them, and this is so lame, signing Michael A. Taylor, who's 33 years old, and then flipping him at the deadline and then turning it over to Rafaela, assuming they're not contending. You never know. But that's a name that makes a lot of sense to me. Duvall, not my top choice, but you could see that happening as well. They just have so many outfielders right now. I think we lose sight of that, but there's options, like you said. There's still what are we calling them? The big four. I've been seeing people call them.
That's what like Robert Murray says a lot in the Baseball Insiders, like the big four, the Boars four, like Montgomery, Chapman, Bellinger, and Snell.
Bellinger. Oh my God, I forgot he's still out there.
There's crazy. Like no rumor surrounding like Chapman or Bellinger. It's crazy. And we're what? Yeah. Spring training starting? Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, it's weird. This is a weird offseason. I think it's really bad for baseball. I think people are kind of underselling how bad it is for baseball. Something has to be done because the other sports have like a chunk of their offseason where they dominate the news just for all the moves that are happening. In baseball, it's just like, when was the last big move? And I don't count Soler. He signed for $14 million a year. The last, I can't even remember. Like, what was the?
We all do Lee.
Yeah, I guess we all do baseball podcasts, and none of us can remember when the last big move is. There you go. That's bad.
I would say maybe like the Robbie Ray trade, honestly, because he at least has what recently, but that's still probably a month ago, 3 weeks ago. Like, yeah, nothing's happened. And you say,
I was on winter break too. Jesus Christ.
I know the NFL opens up in about a month, their free agency, and day one, right when dozens of guys start signing immediately. And the MLB is just painfully slow. And I know there's usually a big fish. Last year's Judge, this year was Yamamoto and Ohtani, but Boris carrying out his guys to get every dollar he can. It's bad for the game. You're absolutely right, and we're underestimating that.
Yeah, I feel like just off the top of my head, quick fix to it would be like, don't allow guys to sign until like January 1st or something. Just condense the window. Like, don't have it start at the same time and then have a cutoff. Have it just start later. And I think the players would go for that because they'll still have their leverage. The fans would like it because it's more exciting. And then like Major League Baseball would get a big pop. They would lose a little bit in like November, December, less people talking about them, but they're already not being discussed. So I would just start free agency like New Year's Day or something like that.
Yeah, Jason, we've actually talked about how the next CBA is probably going to have to address something in regards to the dates and timeline of free agency.
Yeah. You never know. I think one of our buddies, Derek, go follow him on X, Twitter, whatever you call it now. I think he said there should be a deadline and then a deadline for Boris guys to sign. It's not his fault or anything. It kind of is, but anyways, it's just his guys getting the best dollar. I saw somewhere Snell is looking for 9 for $270, which is like, ooh.
Me too.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, but I think a little off topic, but I kind of want to go back into the Sox a little bit and talk about the lack of spending and if this is a reality. No moves, no major league moves since what day, Sammy? I think you just said it.
I don't know the day, but we're recording on February 13th. It's been 45 fucking days since they've added, and I can't even they haven't even been rumored to be close, which we would take that at this point.
Don't you mean 45 hours? Because they just signed Lucas Licky.
Yeah, come on, man. Come on.
Hey, but no, that was a minor league deal.
Yeah, no.
No, but a major league deal.
We tried to break that down on our show. Like, what does this mean? And then we were just kind of like, all right, we're so down bad right now. We're talking about Lucas Licky. Good career, but 7 ERA last year. No thanks.
We're celebrating over Lucas. I forget it was you or I listen. Quick plug. I listen to your pod at the gym whenever I'm either lifting or on the treadmill. So shout out there. Yeah. But yeah, I don't like it. They said, oh, we're just gonna wait to spend when the time is right. But it's like, well, isn't the time right now? But yeah. I don't know. But Sammy, do you think this is a new reality for the Sox, or do you think it's like, oh, we're gonna wait till next year, which is the same thing we've been told for the past 3 years?
That's a tough question. I might be foolish, but no, I can't fathom this continuing. I mean, you guys are young dudes. This has to be the worst vibe you've ever recalled in the fan base. I mean, it's awful. There's no Truck Day. To be clear, I think Truck Day is pretty stupid. But normally you get a good crowd of people there. There was like 7 people this year. So I just, there's no way that these guys can be that dumb to think that people are going to continue showing up. I mean, I'm scared to see what Fenway Park looks like this year. There's going to be a lot of people at the beginning of the year. There always are. I'll be there. But man, I think about like June. If they're not playing well, which we all, I would assume, think they're not going to be playing too well, it's going to be like a morgue in there. So I think that, I guess they're being really strict with this, waiting for the core to come up. I figured that this was enough of a core to supplement. Guess I was wrong. So I guess once Anthony, Meyer, Teal, Rafaela, etc., once those guys come up, then I guess they'll spend. But this is not a confident take. It's if I had to choose kind of take.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, I'm not going to blast you in a year saying, oh, you were wrong. I mean,
no, please do. It's fine. No.
I mean, you'd be glad to be wrong. I mean, look, I say I don't think they're going to do it next year either, but I'd be glad to be wrong. And that's a lot of my takes recently. It's like, I hope to God I am wrong.
Oh, yeah, me too. I'm like, I can't stand the thought of Trevor Story batting third. Like, I think he'll bounce back. And like, if he hits 25 home runs and steals 30 bags and has like an 820 OPS, roast me. I'll be thrilled. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Great. Red Sox they're in luck. The story's not a bust. But
yeah,
none of us are feeling too great about it right now.
It's interesting. I mean, you did say, we're gonna wonder what Fenway Park's gonna look like in June, right? You're gonna have the college kids like me coming back. And Jack, I'm gonna quote you, Jason, we're not going to a fucking game this year.
Yeah, come on, go to a game. Go to a game.
We're going to a game
and just boo the owners. No, Kennedy walks the concourse sometimes.
For the record, I'm not sure I had the F word in there, Jason. That might be you adding it.
Okay, fine.
No, I'm joking.
We're not going to a game this year.
But
I think it was after the Teoscar signing.
This did happen. I did say this in a group chat with, I think it was Derek, and yes, I said that. I didn't mean it. Well, in my attendance this year, that I'll put it. I'm gonna limit it.
Yeah, but
same. I'm not a boycott. I think the boycott Fenway thing is stupid because you're just robbing yourself of doing something you enjoy.
I know.
That said, I usually go to like 30 games a year. I'll probably do like 10 or 15 this year. Aside, like, not if I get a press pass and EEI has me go on and like do cool shit like that. Okay, I'll go, of course. Yeah. But like as a fan, just like crushing beers and sitting in the seats, I'm not. One of my good friends who I've known for my entire life, almost 30 years. This guy's like, yo, you want to go to this game? I really want to see if we can see Zach Gallen pitch against the Red Sox when Arizona. I'm like, no, dude, no, I don't want to see Gallen pitch 8 shutout innings and strike out 12. The Red Sox lose 3-0. And like, no, I'm good.
The whole boycott thing would work if nobody went to games and every game is just the opposing team's fans filling up. But that's not going to happen because there's nothing like walking out in June and getting your first look at Fenway. I mean, there's nothing like it. So yeah, limited attendance this year, but not total.
Yeah, but I will say having the almost majority of the fans, Dodger fans, is completely unacceptable, just as a fan base. But
oh man,
it's ridiculous.
I mean, it's going to be bad attendance wise this year, and Nesson's ratings have gone down consistently. the reaction I can't imagine the life that the social media team for the Red Sox have been leading the last few months. God bless them. But like, it's got to get through to ownership eventually. Like, they've been hearing it over. And you saw Sam Kennedy kind of snapped, called the fans liars, ran that. I was right next to him in real life when that happened. And I couldn't hear him because I was like, one, I was recovering from the night before a winter weekend, but two, he was like on the booth, and I saw him kind of doing this, like motioning. I'm like, oh man, he's animated about something. Then the quote comes out. Bottom line, these guys are human, the ownership group. Eventually, I feel like this has to get to them. So I'm just hoping and praying that I'm not being foolish with that.
Yeah. And I would,
to the point. Sorry, you go.
oh, thank you. I would just say, I thought this year, like Sammy, to reiterate, I thought this year would be a good opportunity to surround what we have here already, because we do have a solid young core up and more on the way. I thought it would be a good year for one ad, just one. I'm not saying go all in on this season, but one guy on a long-term deal who's going to still be able to play with the big three. Like, yeah, that's great. Not doing that, very weird. Are they going to pick it up next year and pick up the slack that they've been leaving behind? I don't know. Only the answer is no if they're going to sell. The answer is yes if they aren't. If they're going to continue owning the team, absolutely. I think like Walker Buehler, Max Fried, whoever it is, they have to go spend a ridiculous amount of money on somebody. Maybe Corbin Burns if he's available. I don't know. But if they didn't next year, I think it's a sign that they're probably looking to sell in 26, 27.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think it's crazy to think they're going to like planning to sell. I wouldn't go that far yet, just because you got to really clear the books to sell and get maximum price. And they still got Devers and like Yoshida. And, it looks like they're trending that way. I have to that for something like that to happen. That's one of those, and this is a lame response, but like, I got to see it to believe it. That's a big thing. I mean, I'm 29 years old. I don't even remember. When did they buy 2002? I don't remember the old ownership group. I was like barely sentient. So that's a big deal if Fenway Sports Group sells, and I just can't see it happening yet, but someday.
But if the motivation has been, we're gonna, like Breslow's basically explicitly said, we're gonna wait until the guys are up to spend, and if they wait, and the guys are up and they don't spend, I think we have a very good reason to be skeptical and to then start pushing it. But that would be, again, if they hit copy and paste from the 2024 offseason to the 2025 one.
Yeah. I mean, if Anthony, Meyer, Teal, they all come up and they're all playing well, and still they're operating like the Orioles did when they had all those young guys up. Yeah. And then all they do is add Jack Flaherty. Like, why don't you just give a middle finger to your team instead? Like then it's kind of like, all right, we're at like a critical mass. Something has to give. This is bad. But I guess just wait and see. It can't get much worse. It's the good part.
Yeah.
It's interesting because it's like, Jack, we had this talk the other day. If like they're still prospects, like Meyer's still a prospect, Anthony's still a prospect, Teal's still a prospect. They're still lottery tickets. They're highly touted lottery tickets. Are they guarantees? No. Are they going to be?
What's a bust? I mean, you guys probably remember Yohan Moncada, number one prospect in baseball. You can't trade that guy. He's going to be the next Robinson Cano. That's what everyone was saying. And he plays third base too. He's like a more versatile Cano. And then Michael Kopech, this kid throws 100 miles an hour. He's crazy. He's perfect for Boston. Can't trade him. Boom, trade him for Chris Sale. Chris Sale has his best season ever. Next year wins the World Series with the Red Sox. And then Kopech, he's a reliever now?
Yeah, he is not nearly what everyone thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
No, who did he date, by the way? Didn't he date like someone? I got to look.
But yeah,
but segue, you had a tweet, Sammy, or post, whatever the hell you call it now. You said we take Dave Dombrowski for granted. And Dave Dombrowski, he did have a relationship with ownership dating back to when, he was the GM for Florida. There's that. But then he also could, evaluate talent like he did Moncada and he did Kopech. And they were two prospects that had nearly panned out to the way everyone thought they were. I think Eckersley, when Moncada debuted with the Red Sox, Eckersley said something on the lines of like, this dude stinks. And he was traded. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh,
I don't.
Oh, that's great. Did he really? X said that?
I think he did. I think one of my buddies showed me a clip. He's like, dude, this guy can't play. Something on the lines of that. I'd have to go digging, but yeah.
Man, I mean, Dombrowski, and this is like, I'm still learning too. I'm older than you guys, but I'm still learning how this game works. It's so complicated, and for years it just seems so obvious. Yeah, of course you're going to get Craig Kimbrell. You need a closer. Oh, you need a big power bat? JD Martinez. Of course. Good job waiting out the market, whatever. Chris Sale, you need a pitcher? David Price. Boom, boom, boom. These acquisitions seem so obvious in hindsight. But then you have a guy like Heimblum, who I think, he wasn't great. He wasn't as bad as people say, but like very imperfect. Same with Breslow so far. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, we had it all. Like Dombrowski, far from perfect. The Sale extension stinks. We all agree. Mookie's probably gone because of that in part. The Evaldi extension was so. But like, man, at least he had some balls and he'd make the moves that he thought made the team better. And he made it, dude, the way he operated was just so simple that he made it look easy. And then I'm spending years like, oh, it's not that hard. Any good GM would do that. Now I realize like that's a great GM right there, Dave Dombrowski.
Yeah.
You want to know a fun fact? Actually, yes. So I forgot what I read it in a book, but like Dombrowski, his one and only big mistake is he traded Randy Johnson, and he learned from that. And he's the guy. He's one of those guys. He doesn't really look at analytics. He just simply watches games, right? Charrington was, I think it was in Spears' book, but Charrington would always be looking at analytics and looking at numbers, but Dombrowski would simply just watch games. That's how he evaluates talent. Now, sorry, I cut you off, Sammy.
No, I was just going to say, like, I think it's good to do a little bit of both. Like, the best GM in baseball right now, there's two of them, in my opinion. Anthopoulos, and then Friedman for the Dodgers, I believe is his name.
Yeah.
They both do both of those things. They both use analytics and then the eye test. A great example, another one, and this is one I got from Rob Bradford.
Love
Baseball isn't boring. Check it out.
Bob Lab alum. Yep.
Yeah. He was telling me, this was a few months ago. So Chris Young, the Rangers GM, is at the deadline. Rangers are contending. They've lost DeGrom for the year. And they're like, shit, we really got a chance here, but we need to add. And Max Scherzer becomes available. And apparently everyone in the Rangers front office was like, no, look at the numbers. It doesn't work. Like, he's regressing. He's this, he's that. Like the contract, blah, blah, blah. And Chris Young, being a former major league pitcher, goes, look, I agree with your numbers. Great and everything. But sometimes down the stretch in baseball, you just need a fucking guy. Like, you need a dog who you know is going to lead the pitching staff. It has a trickle-down effect on the rest of the roster. It feels good to have a guy like Max Scherzer on your side. And then look what happened. Like, good. So,
amen.
Yeah. So I like the analytic. That's how that Rangers team was built. A lot of analytics. But then when the time was right, then you're like, all right, look, gut feel. Let's do it. So that's the example I like to use. That was a good story of that.
And I thought we were going to have a guy with a little bit, more risk to him in a little bit. And I thought we're going to have a little bit more of Dombrowski in Breslow with the Verdugo deal, with the Sale deal. It's like, wow, I don't know if Bloom had the stones to make these deals, but right away there's Breslow doing it. And we haven't seen that since then. And like Jason mentioned earlier, I thought we were going to build off of the Sale deal. And, well, no, we haven't. So I don't know if we have Dombrowski or a little bit of Dombrowski in Breslow, or is it an ownership thing that's limiting him and that's tying his hands?
It's really tough to evaluate. I would go towards the latter, I think, because we know for a fact he's operating under restrictions.
Right.
That said, the trades he's made to a smaller scale, but like, what's the first? Oh, Verdugo to the Yankees. I mean, that's a ballsy first trade. You're trading Verdugo, who's he's not a superstar, but that's a fans know who that is. and you're trading him to the friggin' Yankees for prospects. And I'm
Right.
like, wow, okay, this is a good precursor to what's to come. I mean, like, I like Dick Fitz, decent prospect. The kid they got who's like 6'10", throws 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Oh, I
Judas,
love him too. Yeah,
good. And then
I love him.
Weissert, nice little funky righty. Cool. I was like, nice. I like that. Then you get the might get the order wrong here. I think the Giolito signing.
O'Neal.
Was it sale trade and then Giolito?
It was O'Neal.
Oh yeah, I forgot about O'Neal. Yeah, that one was kind of more like standard. That was cool too. I'm like, nice, cool upside play. And then I forget which one came first, but there was like which one was first, Giolito or Sale?
That was first.
Sale? Okay. Sale trade. Oh my God. That one I was like 10 out of 10. And normally I'd be like, yeah, I don't love this with the trade. 6 years of Vaughn Grissom for what? It was a year and then like an option of Sale, 35 years old. Right. That one I love. And then it just stopped after the Giolito signing, which Giolito, whatever. You hope he bounces back. Whatever. We'll see. But like, where did it all go? We were cooking for a little bit early in the offseason, and now it's kind of like, this is the team. We're gonna try to stretch another reliever out.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are putting way too much what's the word? They're putting way too much hope in Andrew Bailey. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Love what he did with I almost said San Francisco. Love what he did with Logan Webb. Like, dude transformed Logan Webb to one of the best pitchers in baseball.
Yeah, nasty.
But not nasty. But the expectation cannot be, Hauk's going to be such a good pitcher now. Whitlock is going to be so good. Pavetta is going to be good. Like, you cannot make those assumptions.
Right.
Right? And I think a lot of people, I don't know if it's a lot of people, maybe it's just me, but like, people are putting way too much stock in Andrew Bailey. I think that's a take.
Jack, you got something?
No, go ahead.
So I kind of sort of agree. I think they're putting way too much stock into him this year. Like, it takes a long, long, long time to reshape like a whole pitching coaching staff. Like, that's not
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Even like, you're also, and I don't want to diminish what Andrew Bailey did. I don't know if you guys been to San Francisco. It's huge and windy, blowing like sideways. So like, yeah, our pitchers are going to have success there. That said, Logan Webb, dude's amazing, unless you're Tristan Casas. But it's just like, we're not going to see the effects of that for like 2-3 years, in my opinion. And the Kyle Bodie, still not sure how to pronounce his name. Same thing. You're not going to see that for a long time. And look at the Cubs. The Cubs had Craig Breslow, and they were going with the same mindset of like velocity. Their whole rotation would go up and down. Steele, he throws like 91. Stroman, 90 maybe. Kyle Hendricks has an 87 mile an hour fastball. And then you got, I can't remember the other guys. Oh, Drew Smiley, another Smiley. Yeah, just a bunch of guys who throw pus. But then you look at the farm and you have a bunch of rocket launchers down there, and they're still not up. So it takes a while. I just don't like Andrew Bailey's great. I think he's going to be great with the Red Sox as the pitching coach, but you gotta it's got to marinate. It's going to take multiple years, in my opinion, for that for us to see the effects of that hire.
Yeah, for sure. And for the record, I'm not sure if the sale thing happened before Giolito. I think it might have happened. I think Giolito might have signed a day before, but I don't even know at this point. But anyways, yeah, Bailey's going to take a minute. I know he helped reinvent Gausman's career, and that's another underrated part everybody was talking about. But Gausman was DFA'd at one point. The Giants picked him up, and I mean, now he's one of the best pitchers in the league, got a huge deal in Toronto. And that was after a Cy Young season with the Giants. And yes, it's going to take some time in the whole process of building the pitching pipeline with pitching minds it's going to have to marinate and sit in and you're going to have to wait to see the results. But at the same time, hopefully he can help out Bayo with his slider more than Dave Bush. And hopefully he can help Whitlock stay more consistent. And hopefully he can help Hauk, in the second and third time through the lineups or whatever it is, however it is. And maybe he can reinvent Giolito, whatever. But yeah, like in the long run, we still probably only have one or two pitchers who are here for a while, Bayo and Cutter, right? So yeah, you got to hope he's working with the pitching pipeline in the minor leagues and hope it pays off in 2 or 3 years. But the idea that like, oh yeah, Giolito and Pivetta with Bailey are going to be all-stars in contract seasons, like I wouldn't get my hopes up on that.
Yeah, man, we'll see. But like you said, don't get your hopes up. And I wouldn't even lump Cutter into that group yet. I want to lump Cutter into that long-term pitcher. But what we've seen, like 75% of one season from him. So we've seen that before, where a guy shows something, and I feel like that one, I think with Baseball Savant or Fangraphs piece about his fastball came out, and then Red Sox were like, Cutter is God. He's better than Bryce Miller or like whatever. I'm like, whoa, okay. He's good. He's solid. I believe in him. I think he'll be a solid starter, but like, pump the brakes. He's undersized too. But yeah, and then you mentioned Giolito. I saw the first video, I think it was earlier today, of his compact delivery that he's doing. So they're already toying with him. I don't know, man. Everything has to go right for this season to be like a moderate success.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, and then the other thing, and then I'll transition to something else. Giolito and like Bayo had some of the worst like four-seam fastballs. I saw something on that in like the September.
Yeah,
right.
Bayo's fastball up in the zone just got hammered. I saw the same thing you saw. I think it's just good when it's low, but when it's high, it just gets murked, which is not good.
I mean, small things to work on, and it'll hopefully make an impact. But yeah, a lot of things need to go right in order for this team to be somewhat. I don't want to say competitive, but somewhat decent.
Somewhat watchable.
That might translate.
I mean, they were 2.5 games out at the deadline last year. Like maybe, and this is crazy, hear me out. Maybe if they had a full rotation, they could have stayed afloat a little bit rather than doing 2 openers a week. I got my boy Brennan Bernardino out there in the first inning, like 3 days apart. That's just not sustainable. Like, here and there, I don't mind the opener, but you can't have 2 in 1 week for multiple weeks. That's crazy. The worst was when Schreiber, another friend of the program,
oh my God,
comes off the IL, and they're like, "Look, man, we know you haven't pitched in the majors in like 2 months, but you're gonna start in Houston against the Astros, and you're gonna pitch 2 innings." And he barely gets through the first. You can tell he's not 100%. And I remember watching this game specifically and being like, "Oh my God, I can't believe Schreiber got out of that. He's clearly not himself." Luckily, he's the opener, so he's not coming out for the second inning. Let me kick back and relax, watch the rest of the game. And then he comes out for the second inning. I think he gave up 4 or 5 runs. I don't blame him one bit. Anyone could tell he wasn't himself, but they had to do it. They had no arms left. So I don't know. I think that they're closer to contending than people think, but I still don't think they've made the moves to get there. Like Montgomery would change so much. Snell's not going to happen, but like you mentioned Lorenzen, if they think that Lorenzen could give you more than Houck as a starter, sick, sign him. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think this will segue to our final topic, the opening day roster or just lineup projections. So, Jack, do you want to start us off?
Yeah,
I guess.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know I mentioned Lorenzen and a couple other guys, but earlier I did say I don't see them making another impactful signing, and I'm going to stick with that. So, I mean, I have it basically who are with guys who are already in the organization. Obviously, Bayo, Giolito, Cutter, Pivetta, Houck is the rotation right now, with Schreiber, Whitlock, Winkowski, Martin, Kenley, and Bernardino as the locks in the pen. And then I have Murphy beating out a couple guys for the last lefty spot, because there's no way they go into the season with one lefty, considering all 5 starters are righties. And then I have Slayton getting the last spot over Zach Kelly and Isaiah Campbell and a couple other guys. I mean, that's as most exciting as it's going to get. Who wins the last spot in the bullpen? Not in a specific order, but I do have obviously Casas, Story, Devers, Grissom. Those are the locks. Wong, Reese, locks. Duran, Yoshida, Abreu, locks. I have them, like Sammy pointed out earlier. Rafael is definitely starting in AAA. So then I have O'Neill, Ref Snyder, Dahlbeck, and Pablo Reyes rounding it out. I mean, nothing special, but I mean, I guess hopefully we can have a couple of those question marks turn into exclamation points and get a decent season.
All right. So I have the same like rotation and bullpen as you. I do. And you guys are gonna think I'm crazy. I still think there's a chance they sign Montgomery. It just makes no sense not to. Like we said, though, nothing has made sense. He's literally. I live right next to BC. He's like right over there, just waiting to be signed, and he's not. So I still think there's a chance they get him, just because it fits so unbelievably well. But we'll see. Lineup wise, here's how I think the lineup's going to look. I would go batting first. I would do left field Duran. Have to do Devers second. I read some number. You get like 30 or 40 more at bats if you bat second consistently. Like that's why Judge bats second and everything. Third, Trevor Story. I think you have to go third. Trevor Story. It's your best option, unless you're like diehard Vaughn Grissom guy, but not there yet. Casas is like the most exciting part of the team. Cleanup. Then I would go, depending on the pitcher, I would either go, let's say it's a righty. I'd go Yoshida fifth. Then I would have, this is where it gets tough. Yoshida DH now that we know he's the DH. I think I'd go right field, whoever's playing that day after him. Oh, no. Grissom. I forgot about Grissom. And then right field, either O'Neill or my boy Thick Willie. And then you do this part I'm like kind of 50-50 on. I would go center field. It's batting eighth, Michael A. Taylor in center field. I think they're going to sign him for half a season. Woohoo!
Yep. Yeah.
You guys hyped for half a season?
Oh, yeah. I'm on the MAT train.
Yeah. Hey, and then Wong or McGuire batting ninth. Who, by the way, I like both of those guys. I think they're both perfect backup catchers. Like they're both exactly what you want in a backup. Wong, good defense, speed, which is weird, a little bit of pop. Reese, solid defense, not as good as Wong, and he bats lefty, doesn't really strike out. So there you go. It's a good.
Yeah.
Still, I get the waiting for Teal thing. That makes sense.
Can you believe that they had Turner protecting Devers and he was there for them to sign for months, and now it's going to be Story?
Oh
That's
my God.
the saddest. And he literally said, like, I would love to come back to Boston. Who from California and chooses to stay in Boston in the winter.
And where it's more expensive. Actually, no, never mind.
Either way, you're
California.
But still, like, dude, he chose to stay in Boston in the winter. That is like hell. I don't know if you guys are like from the area. It's cold.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're in Syracuse, it's probably even colder, so I shouldn't even complain. But
yeah, no, I grew up in Boston, like around there, 30 minutes north, Merrimack Valley. So yeah,
that was like one of my worst takes ever. I mean, I old takes exposed myself because I hated the Justin Turner signing. I was like 38 years old, can barely play the field. Who gives a shit? And then a year later, I'm like, I love you, Justin Turner. Don't leave us. So,
he's awesome.
His
walk up.
He gave you everything, like more than a hitter, leader, protection in the lineup, right-handed power.
Absolutely.
Dude played with like 1 foot for a month, and he's almost 40. Like that guy's a beast, and just a great guy in the community too. Clubhouse leader, like checks every box.
Yeah, I didn't go off on a tangent there, but yeah. And Jordan Montgomery to the Red Sox makes just as much sense as Flacco to the Patriots does. I don't know how they can't get it done.
Flacco to the Patriots. What?
It's happening.
Joe Flacco to the Patriots? What?
That'd be wild. That would be crazy. I love the Patriots. I don't know too much about football, but I feel like people would hate that, wouldn't they?
Joe Flacco to the Patriots.
You heard it here. It's happening.
Oh my God. All right. Well, credit if it happens. You're the first person to say that.
They haven't had a true backup quarterback since Hoyer, but off topic. I got to get my lineup. Alrighty. So I got Durant, Devers, Story, Casas, Yoshida. It's interchangeable.
Oh, where's Durant playing? Center or left?
Left. Wait, no, center. Sorry.
Oh, all right. Twist.
Here's why. Yeah, I also have Rafaela starting in AAA.
Yeah, same.
I have O'Neill in left just because I think Gold Glove wise, that's where he won. I know he could play any outfield position. He was jammed by Bader, Carlson, and those whole good Cardinals outfielders. Then Abreu, right, Grissom, Wong. My bench is Ref Snyder, Reyes, McGuire, and I think Bobby D will make it for one last hurrah. Just because spring training is known to be, pitchers are not really throwing breaking balls. They're throwing just to get their velocity up. So what's Bob going to do? What he does best, crush fastballs and be Mr. fucking spring training for the, third year running? Yeah.
He loves. Oh, I didn't give you my bench.
No,
I'll go catcher. I'll be boring. Catcher, Ref Snyder, Reyes. Do I have to say Bob?
Who's your backup first baseman? I'm just saying.
Reyes. I think you put Reyes.
I
mean, here's the thing. People are talking like who's going to back up first base. If you have to use somebody in that spot more than like 15, 20 times, something has gone horribly wrong with Casas. So I'm barely thinking about that, honestly.
Roberto.
But yeah, Reyes has played some first base. He's a shortstop. He's 6'2". He'll be fine.
He's a dog.
Yeah, but whatever. I mean, backup first baseman's the least of my worries. However, backup third base a little bit more important. So I think I would have to. Yeah, right now.
Yeah, there's also Valdez, but he probably will start. He's another DH.
That's true. I forgot about Manuel, but yeah.
And Manuel.
That's true. That's another issue. They have no lefty. Actually, well, wait, did we do our math wrong? Would one of the No, okay. So I had Michael A. Taylor coming to the Red Sox. So actually my last bat on the bench is going to be either Abreu or O'Neill, whoever's not playing. So there you go. Boom.
There you go.
Math.
Does Ref not make the team?
No, Ref. I mentioned him first. That was quick.
Yeah.
Okay. I did a little Ref Snyder.
And then my rotation, that's same as you guys: Bayo, Giolito, Big Dick Nick, Crawford, Hauk. Nicky Smooches. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. I'm sorry, I just got to get that out. Jansen, Martin, Schreiber. I have Whitlock. People say Winkowski's not going to make the team. We'll start in AAA. I have a hard time seeing that.
Tune in to play Tessie tomorrow to hear me yell about that.
Oh, I will be. Bernardino, Justin Slayton. And here's the hot take. The last man is currently not on the 40-man roster. Here's why. There's been moves we've seen. We saw Tapia, a non-roster invite to a minor league deal. He made the roster. He was right. I think whether it be Litke or someone else that we don't know, I think someone like him is going to he's going to be that, okay, he looked really good in spring training, and I think it'd be stupid not to give him a roster spot. Now, hindsight last year, you got to remember last year, giving Tapia that spot was, because he was the fifth outfielder, but conversation for another day.
He was okay.
He was all right. He was all right.
I agree with you there, but I think I just liked his hair. So I was like, give him a spot.
But then, what was I going? Oh, yeah. Just someone's going to have a good spring training and make it. Is Greg Weisser on the 40-man?
I was actually going to check that right now as you were saying.
I think he is because he was in the MLB with the Yankees. I think he is.
Yeah, let's see. Weisser. Yeah, he's on the 40. Yeah,
but the biggest thing though compared to last year is you do have AAA depth. You have guys with options, right? You have Isaiah Campbell, the guy you got. What?
It might be the last guy might be Cooper Criswell because he could be that safety net starting pitcher, but he's on. He's on the 40. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. No. Which leads me to my next take. Cooper Criswell will make 5+ starts by August 1st.
Oh, by August?
By August 1st. You heard me. August 1st.
Is it 3 or 5?
5.
Oh, boy.
And here's why.
Uh,
How long the Red Sox started last season with Whitlock out, Paxton out, and Bayo out. 3 pitchers. You got to be fully healthy. And granted, they do. Pivetta never gets hurt, and Giolito's an innings guy.
whoa. Knock on wood.
Shit, where's my wood? There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, you have those guys, but you never know with Houck. You never know with some of these other guys. I mean, are we really going to rely on Houck to make that as many starts? He might suck in the rotation. God forbid. Someone goes down. Do you want a bullpen day, or is you going to call up Criswell?
All right, yeah, I'll say yes then. Five starts. Yeah, I could see that. That's not that
This
many.
rotation's not built to be sustainable for as long as everyone says it's going to be.
No,
That's
I mean,
why.
they have, Bayo, you expect to get like 150 innings from.
Barely got it.
Giolito, you'll get like 180. He's a horse. That's the reason I wanted him, just because he eats
Mm-hmm.
innings. And then what? Cutter, we hope. Pivetta, we hope. Kind of like, Pivetta, he can log those innings. Cutter looked like out of gas at the end of the year last year. So,
oh yeah. So was Bayo.
Oh yeah, Bayo totally ran out of gas too.
And the biggest difference with Bayo compared to a lot of the pitchers in the MLB who were gassy is Bayo didn't go to the WBC.
No, yeah, he doesn't have that. I'm not like concerned about him or anything.
Yeah.
But he's a kid. He's so young. He'll build up some muscle. He's tiny too. He's not a big not tiny, but he's just not a big starting pitcher. I sat. Rob gave me his seats for a game against Houston, and Bayo was pitching, and I was just kind of like, wow, he's not that big. Like, he looks just like his jersey's a little bit loose. I think makes him look bigger on TV, but when I saw him in person, I'm like, that he could like walk by me on the street and I might not notice him. Not a big dude.
His intro music's great, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that, but I forget the song. I'll send it to you, but it's pretty cool.
You know, the best intro song is Chris Martin's.
Oh, from Texas.
Yeah. Kenley's intro is awesome.
So I actually asked Chris Murphy about this. Chris Murphy about Chris Martin's walk-in song. He says it's kind of a joke, which is disappointing. I thought he actually loved that song. I was like, this is cool. This guy with gray hair likes this rap song. Cool, but apparently it's a joke.
Kenley's intro was awesome. Best of the group.
Champions, yeah.
I know Sammy probably knows this, but I'll never forget Craig Kimbrell's walk-up. The Fenway Park did this whole thing. Oh, it was amazing.
Oh, Welcome to the Jungle, right? I think was the song.
I forget.
Flames, yeah.
What was it? Was it Welcome to the Jungle?
Yes,
I think it was.
Welcome to the Jungle. Yeah, that's Kimbrell.
And they did the whole Flames.
Yeah,
for sure. That's for sure what it was. I remember that being like, this is a good closer song, and and he's a good closer. There you go.
Yeah. We're nearing. I know we said 30 minutes, but we're nearing 50.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I had to delay so many times. I didn't realize how far this theater was that I was at tonight. So
don't worry, man. Hope you had a good time, and let's wrap up by predictions. Hooray! Opening day starter. Jack, go first. Or actually, no. Jack, no, you're not going first. Sammy, you're going first.
It's got to be Bayo. Even if they acquire, I feel like even if they, and this isn't going to happen, if they got Blake Snell, I still think they'd give it to Bayo as just kind of a nod, we believe in you, you're our guy. So yeah, that's my pick. A boring choice by me, but that's who it's going to be.
Jack.
Cooper Criswell. No, I'm just kidding. Bayo. Bayo. The only other option right now would be Giolito, and that's not happening. No way. And they're not signing anybody else. So yeah, it's Bayo.
When is the Dominican series thing? I want to know that. It's against Tampa Bay on the 19th, I think.
Oh.
Because he's going to pitch in that. Probably. And is that going to throw him off? That's my biggest. I want to look that up, actually. But
so if that was the case, if it weren't Bayo, who is it? Is it Pivetta or is it Giolito?
I think it's Giolito. Dominican game. It's going to be March 9th and 10th.
Yeah.
He'll be fine.
Get fired up. Watch the Red Sox in the Dominican Republic as they disappoint fans in multiple countries. Yeah, but I think if it's not Bayo, then it would be
Because it lines up that even if he pitches on the 9th, he'll still not be on the full 5 days.
I don't think they're going to do that. Like, I don't think they're going to prioritize the Dominican series over.
You don't think so?
I mean, that's not even regular. That's still spring training. Yeah,
it's still spring training. But when he want to pitch,
probably want to. But Alex Cora will be like, "Listen, Brian, you're on your rookie deal. There's a lot of money to be made. Just pitch on opening day, buddy. Trust me." So, I hope.
Yeah. You know what? For the fun of it, just to change it up. I know you guys said Bayo. I'll say Giolito, just to spice things up, because I don't like it. I don't like it when we all agree, but Giolito, just get some diversity here.
I'm excited for him, man. If he bounces back, they could be in business.
They could also be sellers at the deadline too. Just kidding. No,
that's what I mean, in business.
Way to look on the
Right.
Amen.
For the record, I'm high on Pivetta this year. I could sneaky see him walking into like a $15 million a year deal after the season. With the sweeper, consistently a workhorse, I think he's gonna have a nice season.
Yeah, I had a joke and it just did not land on Pivetta at Winter Weekend. I was like, "Hey man," like he was doing the autograph thing. He signed a ball, and then I was like, "Hey man, hope you have a good season," and then cash in. And he was like, "Thanks." And that was all right, cool. Later, man. That was awkward.
Yeah,
he could have
weird.
Yeah,
could innings eater.
The whirly bird. The new pitch is called the whirly bird. Apparently, it's been called the whirly bird for a while. Per Chris Murphy, it's been called the whirly bird for a while. We just the public just found out about it. So we get a full year of whirly bird Pivetta.
Wow. So not sweet Pivetta, whirly bird.
Whirly bird, different pitch. It's a little, I think, more vertical, not like a curveball, because he's got that looping curve.
Yeah.
So it's a slider.
There's a sweeper. Doesn't he have the sweeper?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Well, that's another thing actually. I wanna touch up on the whirly bird. Or sorry, it's a whirly bird, not a sweeper. Over under half a whirly bird mentioned by Dave O'Brien.
Oh, over. Yeah, he's gonna think it's so clever. He'll be like, my God, about the whirly bird.
Real quick, just imagine if Eck was still doing it. That whirly bird. Oh,
I used to throw a whirly bird.
Like the gyro ball. That's how awesome.
The fucking Jesus. I remember rushing home from school. I think I got out of school early or something because it was like a day game. I believe Dice K's first game, being like, I can't wait to see the gyro ball. Nothing. No gyro ball. He had like a change up, which I guess was or two seam. I don't know. He didn't throw the goddamn. Nesson had a whole rap about it. They had a whole like hip hop song for the gyro ball. It never even showed up. Sad.
Damn. I mean, pitch. I mean, what didn't Schreiber develop a new pitch, new like cutter? Do you see that?
Yeah. He has a cutter now, so we'll see. Everyone throws it. I mean, Ryan Brazier stunk. Then the Dodgers taught him a cutter, and now what? He just get a $12 million contract for him being a middle reliever. Pretty damn good. That's almost Soler money.
Good interview by Bradfield, by the way. That was I'm still listening to it, but I don't know if you've checked it out, but been great.
He's the best, dude. Bradfo's, he doesn't try to gotcha the players, and it like pays off. They're comfortable with him because he's just trying to tell the story of baseball, and they get that, and that's how you get those good interviews. The guys like Brazier, who you don't normally hear from.
Yeah, it's crazy. But alrighty, so Sammy, final remarks. Floor is yours.
Final remarks. I am gonna try my hardest to be positive about the goddamn Boston Red Sox.
There we go.
It'll be very, very difficult, but I don't know. We got some stuff to look forward to. Things happen. Nobody thought the 2013 team was going to win the World Series, and they did. So maybe 11 years later, maybe it happens again. Probably not, but we'll see.
There we go. Alrighty. So, Jack, final remarks.
Pivetta.
Your time's up. Anyways, no, I'm just kidding. That it?
Yeah, that's all I have. Pivetta and Yoshida will have improvements. They're going to take steps forward each.
Like it.
As my buddy Taylor says, The Red Sox are going to the fucking World Series, and we got to prepare the duck boats. Okay? You heard it from me. Alrighty, so thanks everybody for tuning in. Go follow Sammy on Twitter. Go follow Playtesty. Go follow all the Playtesty guys. Go follow Bradfo. Go follow Jack. Go follow Derek. Go follow everybody. You don't want to miss any good content. Yeah, go Sox.
Go Sox. Peace.